Alright, so this is a long overdue video. So I read a lot of comments from you guys on my Adachi and Shimamura videos, and a lot of the comments that I get from you guys are surprisingly from my anime-only viewers. Now initially, I just assumed that most of you guys probably just didn't have the time to read the manga or light novels, which I still think is the case for some of you. But what a lot of you guys have told me, or a lot of you guys have notioned at, is that you simply don't know where the to start. I'm sure you guys see my videos, BD4, SSS, 99.9, Volume 12, and you're thinking, what the is a BD4? What the is an SSS? What the is a 99.9? And there's a Volume 12? Where is this stuff in relation to the anime? Where is this stuff in relation to the manga? Adachi and Shimamura is a very niche community as of now. I'll be honest, you can't simply find this stuff by searching. You don't know what volume you should be reading this stuff at. You just simply don't know. As someone who has been keeping up and creating content on this series for years at this point, I'll be the first to tell you that Adachi and Shimamura can get very convoluted, especially if you're coming straight from the anime. But when I first spawned into this channel a year ago, as a teeny tiny Whadasha, it became my goal to bring more people towards Adachi and Shimamura, and I genuinely think that this video will help with that a lot, especially because a lot of you guys come to my channel as a resource. So this video is for everyone. Anime onlys, manga onlys, light novel readers who might have gotten confused. This is for everyone. But before we actually begin this video, if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed, especially if you frequent my content. We are less than 200 subscribers away from 3,000, and my goal by the end of this year is 10k. I try not to ask you guys to subscribe too much because realistically, if you want to subscribe, you're gonna subscribe without me even asking. But I put a lot of time and effort into pushing these videos out. If you like my content, then please subscribe. That means the world. It not only gives me motivation to post, but it also helps out with my videos in the long run. That's all I ask of you guys. And with that said, let's begin. So let's start with the anime. Right. The Adachi and Shimamura anime covers volumes 1 through 4. It ends on the chapter titled Love and Sakura. From this point, what I think you guys should do, especially if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of time, just go ahead and pick up the manga. Now, while the manga isn't bad, I don't think I would ever recommend the manga as a first choice. But again, this is for most of you guys who just don't have the time, which is a lot of you guys. The manga is still currently ongoing, and it covers volumes 1 through 7. Now, I believe that the manga is currently at either Words Most Mundane or Quiet Praying. Either way, they're chapters right after each other. That's volume 7. But it's not going to take you very long to finish the manga, right? So after you finish the manga, then you are going to head straight for the light novels. Now, again, I don't know when you are going to watch this video, but at the time I'm recording this, the manga is on volume 7. So if later down the line this becomes confusing and you don't know where the manga is at, say like a year or two down the line, check out my channel. I'm going to have more manga videos so you guys will know where it's at. But right now it's volume 7. From volume 7, you're going to go ahead and read up till volume 9. Then after that, you are going to begin reading the 4 BDs, also known as Blu-ray discs, also known as anime special novels. This is where you will be informed of some crucial lore that honestly does help give context to some events in the series that may be vague. I personally like the BDs. I've made videos on them. I think they're really cool. But after you finish BD4, aka Abiding Diverge Alien, you are then going to begin reading 99.9. Now, 99.9 is a continuation of the BDs. The Blu-ray discs previously ended on kind of a cliffhanger, so 99.9 picks that up and finishes it off. You can think of the BDs and 99.9 as their own instances in the Adachi and Shimamura verse. There's a whole story there that is crucial to understanding our main narrative, despite it being set in a different timeline. There's just a lot of stuff there. Now, you don't have to read all of 99.9, especially because at this point, you should have already seen Cheeto, Shima, Mura, and Abiding Diverge Alien. So you're just going to go ahead and read Sun Halo and underscore and underscore. Now, after you finish reading the Blu-ray discs and 99.9, you're just going to go ahead and start reading volume 10 and then volume 11. Now, after volume 11, you're going to begin reading SSS. Hello, Editing Whadasha here. I actually realized I didn't explain what SSS is. My bad, let me do that real quick. SSS is a set of side stories in the Adachi and Shimamura verse. It's kind of a little bit of everything. It's kind of a mix of everything. Futuristic volumes, behind the scenes stuff, and then things that followed where we previously left off at. Overall, I think it's a very good read. There's a lot of prime Adachi and Shimamura here, I really want to say. I think you guys are going to have a blast reading it. Now, after you finish SSS, then you're going to go ahead and start reading volume 12, which is in English. I will probably put a link to the translated volume 12 in the description. And I mean, with that said, that's all. It is a lot of reading, but you do need to keep in mind, Adachi and Shimamura has been going on for many years. There's a lot of content here. Adachi and Shimamura has one of the most expansive worlds in Yuri, so there's just a lot to digest. Now, I do also want to say this. If you're not on a time crunch, then I highly suggest that you begin reading the light novel from volume 1, even if you have seen the anime, because the anime, let's just say, is not a good representation of the series in the grand scheme of things. For the full experience, ideally you'd want to start from volume 1, chapter 1 of the light novel, but I promise you guys, every chapter, every instance, all of it is worth it. You're going to have a blast. But again, you know, most people just don't have the time to sit down and binge 1 through 12. So this is kind of an alternative that I feel like will work for a lot of you guys. Now, if you're second guessing reading the light novel or anything like that, I kind of want to just once again encourage you guys to go for it. Take a crack at it. I feel like a lot of people don't truly look at Adachi and Shimamura for what the series is, because the series is so much more than just a Yuri. It has some of the most unique narrative progression I've ever seen, and one of the most well-constructed worlds in all of Yuri. That sounds extreme, but it's the truth. Adachi and Shimamura has been publishing for 6 years, but unlike its competitor, Adachi and Shimamura has not been linear. We've seen so many timelines, so many promises, and so many conversations and timelines that inadvertently affects the main timeline that we follow. It's for this reason why Adachi and Shimamura can go years with posting only 1 or 2 chapters about our actual characters, then just focus on alternate timelines. The world is that good, and honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I truly feel like everyone can find something to appreciate in Adachi and Shimamura. Whether that's the characters, the relationships, the appreciation of the creativity, the lack thereof linear narrative progression. Whatever it may be, this story has a lot to offer. That's why a year ago I took up the torch and began posting Adachi and Shimamura videos no matter how poorly they performed. It's what I do even now. Adachi and Shimamura is genuinely a good series. It is a series that deserves attention from the media. So far I've managed to collect thousands of Adachi and Shimamura fans who otherwise probably would have forgotten about this series. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm just trying to tell you how deep this really goes. And I mean, with that said, thank you all so much for watching. If at any point a volume confuses you, feel free to check through my channel. I have so many Adachi and Shimamura videos over the span of a year or two that can fill any gaps you may have, whether that's with the BDs, SSS 99.9, Volume 12, whatever it may be. Please use my channel as a resource. If you have any questions, you know, you can ask in the comments too. Aside from me, I do have a pretty dedicated Adachi and Shimamura fan base, I'd like to say. I believe that the people in the comments can help you guys out as well, whether it's with the manga, with the anime, any general questions. But with that said, that's all I have to say. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, if you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe. We're so close to 3K, and I'll see all you guys later.